Hello, Miss Mitchell. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. My name is Marty Mapp. I am with Troy University Social Work Department, and I've been asked to do what we call an assessment today to determine if you need any services.
Okay.
Do you have any questions before we get started? Well, I would like to tell you that I'm not able to give out information, so whatever you say is going to be held confidential. In addition to that, the only way that I would be able to provide any information to anyone would be if you were harm to yourself or others, or if it was required by a court to be able to provide that information. So, do you understand what I just went over in regards to HIPAA?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's get started. So, Ms. Mitchell, what is your full name?
Ava Mitchell. Do I have to put my middle name?
If you would like to, if
Oh,
not,
that's
that's
fine.
fine. Okay, and when were you born?
7291.
And are you married, divorced, single?
Divorced and single.
Okay. What languages do you speak?
English.
So tell me a little bit about why you're coming in today or why we need this assessment.
Mm-hmm. I guess for my depression and anxiety. I don't know. It's first time coming.
Your first time coming? Okay. So, what is it about your depression you feel you were referred to us for?
Why am I depressed? Is what you're
Yes.
asking? Life.
So, tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, I have a month less than a month to move out of my house. Don't know where to go. Currently do not have a job because I lost that recently. And I'm having to deal with a narcissist ex.
Sounds to me like you got a lot that's happening all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's pretty much been this whole year.
So, how have you been holding up?
For the most part, I'm doing pretty well, I feel like, I guess.
So, what does it look like when you say doing pretty well?
Well, I'm still alive.
That's always a plus, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever had any treatment for your depression or anxiety?
I mean, I went to the doctor for it, but none of the meds they prescribed were helping.
When is the last time you went to the doctor?
I don't remember.
Have you ever been put in inpatient or
Oh, no.
treatment?
Oh, no. I don't feel like I'm that bad off. I'd like to hope I'm not.
So, what ways do you cope?
Well, I spend time with my child, try to get out of the house, even though that doesn't really help, I feel like. Only because I still have to come back to deal with what's here.
Are there any other ways that you cope?
Like how.
Um, let's gather some more information.
Yeah.
Have you ever had any medical problems?
Like a brain tumor? Does that count?
Yes. So, tell me about that.
I don't know. What do you need to know?
How old were you when you had the brain tumor?
17.
And what happened?
Had surgery. He's benign.
Were there any other complications following the surgery?
I guess I almost died.
Oh, goodness. Have you had any other issues following this brain tumor at 17?
I just get the occasional headaches, but I get that pretty well, not regularly checked, but I get that checked.
Do you have any allergies? Are you currently taking any kind of medications? No. So you've been hospitalized for the brain tumor. Have you had any other hospitalizations? Are you pregnant now? How many pregnancies have you had? So are you currently in any kind of pain, physical pain? You mentioned the headaches. How often do you get the headaches?
Just varies. Some weeks more so than others.
In the last 12 months, have you felt like hurting yourself or killing yourself? No? Have you ever had any attempts?
No.
Have you ever felt like hurting or killing someone else?
No.
Has anyone in your family ever attempted to commit suicide?
I don't know.
That's kind of a hard question. Isn't it? Now, if there's anything that we're going over that you feel like you're not comfortable talking about, just let me know, okay? How are you feeling right now? In the past 12 months, have you experienced any hallucinations or difficulty telling what is real and what's not?
No, I haven't had problems with that.
Have you ever been in the military? In the past 12 months, have you had any trouble remembering, concentrating, or simply following directions?
That's every day of my life.
So tell me a little bit more about that.
It's called ADHD.
Just so I'm clear, so you're saying that you have ADHD and it is hard for you to concentrate and remember things and follow simple instructions?
Pretty much.
Do you receive any treatment for ADHD? So how do you know you have ADHD?
Because I've been told that plenty of times, and the symptoms are there.
And who has told you?
Every every person in my life, and I haven't sought treatment because I haven't had health insurance for the longest time.
Okay, so no health insurance.
I have it now. I just recently found out I have it.
Okay.
Just a couple weeks ago, I found out that I have insurance.
Well, that's positive that you have health insurance. So it sounds like to me, so you can get some of these things checked out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so tell me where you are right now.
On my front porch.
What's today's day?
I don't know. November the 5th. Sunday.
Have you ever had any substance use?
Wait, do I drink?
Have you ever drank? Have you ever smoked
Yes.
marijuana?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Have you ever had any treatment due to the smoking marijuana or
Oh, I
drinking?
feel the smoking helps me, but I know the drinking's not good for me.
And how does the smoking help?
It calms me down when I'm having an anxiety attack.
How often do you have anxiety attacks?
I don't know. That varies. Just depends on what I'm doing and where I'm at. More so when I go and do stuff around crowds.
So are crowds a trigger for you?
Not necessarily a trigger. Just it's overstimulating,
Okay. How does that make you feel?
overwhelmed.
Do you have any like physical um, problems when you feel like you're having anxiety?
Like breathing and stuff, or
Yes.
my heart racing, my hands sweat terribly. And just overall overwhelming.
Are there any other substances that you may use other than weed and alcohol? When was the first time you smoked weed? In the last 30 days, how many days have you smoked?
The last 30 days.
And what is usually the way you use marijuana?
Like what, smoking utensil?
Like, is smoking primarily the way you use it, or
Yes.
do you do you bake it?
I mean, sometimes yes.
Okay.
Both.
About how much do you purchase when you purchase marijuana?
I don't know. That varies per week.
How often do you smoke throughout the day?
Again, also varies, but typically three, three, 4 times.
Have you ever had any withdrawals? So with alcohol, do you know about when you first started drinking alcohol?
I don't.
And when was the last time you drank alcohol?
Last night.
How much do you drink when you drink?
I don't know.
Do you have a preference for certain types of alcohol?
Not beer.
Have you ever had any withdrawals? No. Okay. And when you drink, how much do you usually drink?
I don't know. A lot.
What would you consider a lot?
I don't know.
How are you feeling right now?
Um,
Has your use ever negatively impacted your social life or your work? Has it ever affected your ability to parent your child? As a child or an adult, have you ever experienced any significant events that may have caused trauma?
Yes.
You want to explain?
Um, I don't know. That one's kind of hard to answer.
Have you ever been a victim of abuse, either physical, emotional, sexual neglect, or domestic?
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about being a victim of abuse.
Don't like to consider myself a victim necessarily.
What do you like to consider yourself as?
Just me going through things in life, I guess. Being with the wrong partner, you could get emotionally abused. Or being with the wrong partner, you could be physically abused.
Have you ever received any intervention? Now, have you ever abused anyone else? Okay. So let's talk a little bit about your family. Um, where were you born and raised?
I was born in Carrollton, Georgia. I was raised in Beaumont.
Well, that's quite some distance between Beaumont and Carrollton.
Yeah.
So, what was it like being raised in Beaumont?
It was fun. Had friends over all the time. Always did stuff, whether it be sport or whatever.
Do you have any brothers or sisters?
I have two sisters and one brother.
So, where you are in the mix of?
I am the second oldest.
So, who primarily raised you?
Everybody.
Who is everybody?
I have my mom, my two grandmas. My brother helped raise me. And then my dad. Just all within certain time periods in my life, but those are the main people that helped raise me.
Okay. So, um, tell me a little bit about. You said you've been divorced, so tell me a little bit about your marriage.
Well, yeah, we're divorced now. It's to my child's father.
How long were y'all married?
6, 7 years? 7 years, I believe.
Okay. And you just have the one child?
Yes.
So tell me about the divorce. When did you get the divorce?
September 2014.
And what happened?
I got tired of how things were going at the house and me working, taking care of a child while he did whatever. So I just up and left.
Have you had any other significant relationships since then?
I've had two.
Two. So tell me about those.
What about those?
So tell me about how those relationships were. What happened in the relationships?
Well, they were both narcissists. Yes, there's a pattern here, but I'm working on that.
I really like how you were able to determine that you see a pattern.
Oh, yes, most definitely.
And currently you are single?
Yes.
Okay. Who all do you live with?
My child and my two dogs.
So tell me about your supports. Who is there to help you when you need them?
My mom,
Are there any others?
God,
Are there any other significant events that might have happened in your life?
my whole life in general.
Tell me about that.
What about it?
Um, we all look at things differently. So when you say your whole life in general, you have one way of seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if I may say it, I would have a different way of seeing things.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me a little bit what you mean, what it means to you when you say my whole life in general.
Mm, I just feel like there's been more negative than positive, and I keep looking for the positive.
What keeps you looking for the positive?
My faith, my child.
So it sounds like to me you have some goals to continue to strive to be positive about your situation.
Yeah, there's no other way to look at it.
So, in regards to your family, tell me a little bit about if there was any mental health issues, any mental illness.
Within my family,
Mhm.
they're all mental.
Is there anyone that might have a diagnosis?
I think my brother,
What what may he have?
I don't know, he takes medicine for something I can't remember.
Are,
Either depression, anxiety, or I think it's one of those.
are there any others?
My mom, I think,
What do you think she has?
that bipolar depression thing. Well, I guess.
Was she ever hospitalized?
I'm not sure if she was hospitalized, but I know she at one point she was taking medication for it. I'm not sure if she's currently taking that.
How did this affect you growing up?
Um, I mean, I didn't really know what it was when I was little. I just thought mom was crazy.
Are there any others in your family?
That's been diagnosed? No. That should be diagnosed? Yes.
So I know you said that you're currently not employed, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to tell me about your last employment?
Well, I worked for a doctor's office
Okay. What did you
and
do there?
I was a receptionist.
What kind of skills did you, what kind of things did you do?
Everything as far as the medical front office, check in, check out, insurance verification, um, speaking with patients. I would send out prescription refills, referrals, all anything as far as like medical office.
Sounds like to me you had a lot of responsibility at this office.
Yeah, but it kept me busy.
What happened?
I got in trouble
How did you get in trouble?
for one of the insurance verifications. When I first started, I was only given 3 days to train, and I messed up the insurance. And she called me because she does not work in the same location as I do, And whenever she called me, she pretty much called me dumb for doing it wrong or not being able to follow her instructions from the phone to the computer, but it wasn't working right on my end. So I got upset and I quit.
So how did that make you feel when she called you dumb?
Um, Not too good.
How many jobs have you had in the past 5 years?
Too.
So we're going to talk a little bit about your education. What's your highest grade you completed?
High school diploma.
Okay. So you graduated?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What school did you go to?
Mount Zion.
In what year did you graduate?
2009.
So tell me what it was like about being in school.
I don't know. I love school. I'd go back.
What kind of stuff did you do when you were in school?
Cheerleading.
Did you receive any kind of services while you were there for like special education or?
Mm-mm. Oh yes, I did. I worked. I did the my early childhood development my senior year. I did that at the technical college.
Oh, so just so I'm clear, you went to a technical college for your senior year
Mm-hmm.
and you went through early childhood.
Mm-hmm.
However, you didn't receive like um, any kind of special education. Okay.
Or do you mean like a? Because I have my CDA for early childhood,
Okay.
but I was never like in a special class.
You didn't have to have what they call an IEP, an
No, I
individualized
had a
education.
3.2 GPA before my brain
Okay.
tumor.
Did your brain tumor affect your grades?
Yes, but I passed. I don't know what my GPA was after that.
So, describe your childhood in relation to your personality, your friends, your school, what you like to do. You mentioned cheerleading.
Cheerleading, basketball, gymnastics, tumbling.
What about your friends in school?
I had a lot of friends.
Sounds to me like you were very popular.
I guess that's what you would call it.
What kind of hobbies did you do when you were younger?
I mean, besides the sports, I hung out with my brother.
Were there any traumatic experiences that you experienced in your childhood or as an adult? So, what is your sexual orientation?
I like guys.
So, tell me about you mentioned God. Tell me your perspective on God.
I'm not religious because of church, because I was raised in church. I'm more religious because of my own understanding of what what religion should be, and then from my own personal experiences itself.
Tell me more about that.
What do you mean?
What are your personal experiences?
Just the verge of death.
So, what happened?
I had my brain tumor and I was in recovery, and I saw a bright light and my grandpa telling me everything's going to be okay. And then I came to.
What kind of feelings did you have at that time?
Um, at peace.
Have you had any other experiences?
Mm, not necessarily.
So tell me about your ethnic background.
I was around everybody. I don't. We had friends of all different ethnicities.
Just so I can be clear, I don't hear what I'm hearing is that you don't really identify to one particular ethnicity because of your exposure to people.
Yeah.
Do you have any income? Any money that you receive every month?
Mm.
You mentioned insurance. What kind of insurance?
Help.
Health insurance?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And do you have any need for transportation? What kind of resources you feel like you would need?
I don't know.
If you were given one magical wish right now, what would you wish for?
I don't believe in wishes.
Okay. If you somebody came up to you and said that they would give you something that you needed, what would you tell them you needed?
Mm, well, besides a house, I don't know.
What kind of hobbies you do right now?
I hang out with my child, hang out with friends, go get out of the house.
Is there anything you would like to tell me at this point?
No,
Are there any questions that you may have?
no.
Okay. Well, thank you for today. I appreciate it.